Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non binary pals, to episode 311 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly news, culture, and gaming podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, and making his belated return to the Words About Games podcast, it's Daffy Mooney.
Sorry, I caught COVID.
Sorry.
I was meant to be back last week. We had the amazing elf who came in and carried the torch for me.
She did.
And
She
did
did.
an amazing job.
She did. She did. It was very last minute. It wasn't the only last minute booking we've had like over the past 3 months, but hey, we're still here. We only missed one podcast. That was because I caught COVID. What are you gonna do? But lie in bed.
So I did for 4 days, 4 or 5
Yes.
days straight. Was lie in bed.
Yes, I finished that particular podcast the day I caught COVID. Crawled into bed and didn't really get out for about a week.
Pretty much that was me. I hate my bed now. I'm not gonna lie.
I hate it so much. I had The Office on, like, because it was just like I wasn't even watching it, but like I hated the fact that every few episodes I had to push the button to say I was still watching it. Even though I wasn't really watching it, I was just like, I need something on that I don't have to pay that much attention to. I watched the entire series and watched the entire series in like a week and a half. Just don't remember that much of it.
That's a typical Office episode, isn't it? I shouldn't have driven up, Amy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, we talked about this,
yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
You did what?
Yeah, I drove up. I literally I saw what happened. It was on my final shift for that week. I obviously knew my partner had COVID. She texted me the message me the day before. I tested myself there at work. Then when I found out, was negative. Tested myself on the morning, was negative. I didn't have a great night's sleep, but there was a wedding on at the place where I was staying at, and there was also a lot of traffic as well for some weird reason during the night. It was really annoying. But
you're in student country, boy.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And I got to work feeling reasonably all right. I wasn't didn't feel bad, and then suddenly it just hit. It hit, and I remember the time it hit. It hit me around 10 o'clock in the morning, and I started to deteriorate rapidly. I finished. To my knowledge, I still have work to do. That's still on my docket because I didn't get to finish it all. But
Sure.
I finished half of it. And I was like, and I just went out to my boss. Went, I need to go home. I'm dying here, basically.
Yeah.
And I even asked, how are you going to get up? I don't know, but I'm going to find a way. Life finds a way.
Life finds a way.
And driving home was the most intense drive I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Like, my body was seizing up because of how much pain I was feeling. And I crawled into the house, and my mum and my partner were just like, what the hell have you done? What has happened to you? I don't know.
Don't worry, this will be a funny story.
And I just crawled upstairs into bed, and yep. And then eventually the next day it tested positive.
Sure. I mean, apart from the driving, that's a very similar story. To mine and a lot of other people's, where it's just like, like mine was, I tested positive. And I felt like a little scratchy in the throat, as everybody who watches this podcast knows. And then everybody who watches this podcast knows how quickly I went from I'm okay to I'm not okay. It was live. I did it live. But because Sophia texted me first, because she texted me the day before you did, because you'd sent me my cool birthday gift, the Queen Gamer display. I'm thinking about lowering my entire bed just so I can get get it in a shot. Just
raise up your camera a little bit. You'll stay in shot.
Maybe, but you'd sent me that and I'd got it, and then the next day, I think it was, Sophia texted me and was like, I've got COVID. Be careful with the package. And I was like, well, I've already handled it, opened it.
Caressed it.
Licked it, you know, like, as you do. So I was like, well,
shit happens.
If this happens, this happens.
Yeah.
But like, Sophia texted me on, what day did you text me?
Be the Thursday.
On a Thursday. Sophia texted me on the Wednesday. Phil and Erica were supposed to meet me at the fair on the Monday, and as me and Nelly were there, as we walk, because they said, "Oh, we're just getting ready." I said, "Cool, we'll just walk over and you can meet us there because they're driving, so like they can get there in like 10 minutes." And like as we were like crossing the threshold of going into the fair, like I look at my phone, I've got a message off Phil. It's 2 positive COVID tests. So like that was a roller coaster of a week for me. And that's when I put out that week was also when I put out that very frustrated text where I was like, "Didn't fucking tell me COVID is over." Fucking everybody's got fucking COVID.
Everyone's got it. 1.7 million people in the UK have it right now.
Yeah. Like,
but it's over.
Wild.
It's over,
wild.
guys.
Like,
over. It's over. Let's just remember this. It's over.
It's absolutely fucking bananas. Like,
yeah.
See people like just out and about doing the usual thing, just like hacking cough, like on the bus or out, and you just think, okay then.
If I go, you're coming down with me.
I'm not going anywhere near you. Like,
yeah.
Like it's nuts.
That's why I don't get a bus.
Yeah. Unfortunately, work might be mad if I didn't show up. I say it might be. Probably would be.
Probably.
The heat's not helping. The heat, I am. It's true. The heat's not helping. Like, fucking, it's too
I've got
hot.
both windows open right now, and I won't lie, I'm feeling a bit warm right now.
So I went out to the Lady of Northumberland today. So Northumberlandia, like, for the first time, and it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, this is a weather story. Cause I'm British. We got to talk about the weather. Like, it wasn't even sunny at all. Like, at any point while we were there, but it was still warm. It was annoying. It's like, why does the temperature not match the weather? Like, please cool off. I can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
And then we got to the top of the face, because like we walk around and got to the top of the face, and then it was like, it's windy because we're at an altitude, and I was like, can we just stay up here? Screw going back and eating meat and watching Formula One. Let's just stand here and be cool. In 2 senses of the word. Cool. I would ask how you are, what you're doing. You already beat me to it.
I am okay.
I'm glad. I worry. I worry.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I worry about you. You worry about me. We worry about everyone.
We worry about everybody else.
Yeah. And everyone else just says, "Go fuck yourself."
And everyone else is just like, "Oh, I'm not going to text you back." Like, all right, fine.
I hate that. Especially when I can see you've seen it, you bastard.
So I was talking to Ryan about this because I was sent him like a message which was like a question, like, and I'd accidentally. I felt like even it's like, because your brain tells you you sound like X even though you don't, and I thought I sounded like I was like trying to push him to answer like really like quickly as possible, even though I knew he was working. So I sent him like the follow up, which was just like, no rush, like, on answer. And I'm literally sending you this because if I don't send you it now, because I don't have a notification, I'll forget, or I'll think I've already sent it.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that sort of like that philosophy where it's just like, yeah, if I don't have the time or the energy to like reply to a message you've sent me, Like, I leave the notification on my phone. I don't even open it because then it's always there, and I know, like,
Fair.
I've got to reply and read it or whatever. I try not to leave people unseen because that's fucking. I hate that so much. When it's just like you saw my message and you're not replying to it. Fantastic. I hate that. It's the worst.
Well, sometimes I just didn't want to talk, Amy.
I don't think you've ever left me unseen.
I don't think I have, yeah.
I did it to Abby once by accident. I was working and she sent me a message and it was literally just like she sent me a message saying, I can't meet up on X day on like this day, but like I can meet up on this day. And I opened the message with the intention of sending it, but I was at my day job, and then I got immediately distracted after I opened the message. Like, didn't even clock my phone or anything. I put the phone down, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I did the thing, and then I just forgot. Right, I just forgot about it. I came back to my phone like 45 minutes later, and she was just like, "Are you upset with me? Please answer me. You've left me unseen." And I was like, "Oh shit! I didn't mean to."
We do overthink things sometimes, us as a society.
It's a trait of a particular type of person, let's say. But yeah, it is just like that's just what I do. That's just what my brain does. It races to the worst possible like conclusion almost immediately.
Yep.
And it's hard to like break out of that sometimes.
Oh hell yeah.
The worst one for me is always, and I was talking about this about someone, is we need to talk. What about? Oh, we just need to talk. Oh no!
I've sent you one of those before.
Yes, you did.
That. Yeah, I did. I've sent you one of those.
You did, yeah. It's horrible. I was like, oh no, he hates me. I started.
Time to start finding another horse.
No, I started at time finding he's gonna quit, and deteriorated from there as the hours went past.
But yeah, I saw that and I was thinking, oh no, I did that to her, and I know I did.
Yeah, you're not the only one. People do it to me all the time. People just need to stop. Like, just give me a topic. Just give me a topic, and don't follow it up if I say like, "Oh, what's it about?" Just don't follow it up with, "It's nothing bad," because that doesn't help.
Oh, that's true.
Don't worry, it's nothing bad. That's what you would say if it was bad.
That is true. That is true.
So this is a psychology podcast now, yeah.
Yeah, we both have mental health issues, so why the fuck not? Eh? We both suffer from ADHD, so what the hell? Let's get into this.
This is going to be a terrifying episode for you normies out there. You neurotypicals are in for a ride.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much you just, like, for me, it was amazing. Like, when I found out I had ADHD, it was when I was, like, in my early 20s. And it was literally a post someone had wrote, because everybody blogged then. Like, it was all like, we all had our blogs and we all like followed each other's blogs, and one of my friends blogged about what their ADHD was like what it was like typically like for their ADHD, and I read the blog post and I was like, oh,
That's me.
is that not normal? Is that not just normal?
You were never normal, let's be frank here.
Oh shit.
ADHD or not.
Oh shit. What do I do? I love moments like that.
No, that's true.
Just like, wait, not everybody does this? Not everybody thinks this?
Nope.
And then your brain starts computing the ramifications of that. Where you're just like, wait, that means...
This means this, and that means that, and holy shit, my mind is blown.
Oh no. It's too warm. Should we start the show?
Yep. Let's do this.
Let's start the show. This is the Words About Games podcast. Every Monday, you can get a video version of the show on youtube.com/wordsaboutgamesuk, or an audio version on a variety of platforms, including Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and more. There are timestamps in the description wherever you choose to get the video so you can see what we've been chatting about, or you can skip around, or you can watch the whole podcast backwards if you like. We don't mind. We're just happy that you're here. If you'd like to support the show or our content directly, you can buy us a coffee at coffee.com/wordsaboutgames. And lastly, if you want to hang out with us while we play some games, head over to twitch.tv/wordsaboutgames. We just finished The Quarry last night.
We did.
In a unique style that I feel like not that many people on Twitch did the way we did.
No, I drove. Amy directed.
Yeah. And you'll be shocked to know, if you know the two of us at all, that basically involves us shouting at one another. Totally unusual behavior.
That's true.
That is true. I can't wait to figure out what we're gonna do next in that format, because that was a lot of fun.
It was, yeah, no doubt about it. I think I'm not sure yet. We'll have to.
I'm looking forward to you, because I know one game we can definitely do when they bring it out. And I think it must be coming out soon, because I've seen hands-on previews coming out in the past couple of weeks. That Star Trek game that's coming out, which is like the Telltale style Star Trek game. I think that would be an interesting one to do there.
Could be. Don't get annoyed if your favourite characters from Strange New Worlds aren't on it.
I think I'll manage.
You'll have to.
Somehow. I mean, Spock's going to be in it because Spock's in everything.
Hot Spock.
No, old Spock.
Oh no, I don't know. Not wrinkly Spock.
Wrinkly Spock. It's set in the Nemesis timeline. I don't know what to call it. The Nemesis time period.
The Next Generation time period, isn't it?
The Next Generation / Deep Space Nine / Voyager / Prodigy / Lower Decks time period.
Exactly. Yeah, practically, yeah. Pretty much.
Oh, man. Anyway, news stories. We've got news stories. We've got news stories for days. Excuse me. The gaming industry calls out toxic fans. This is from Victoria Kennedy over at Eurogamer, who writes, in less than 24 hours, we got the news that Monkey Island creator Ron Gilbert was no longer going to talk about the upcoming release of Return to Monkey Island following online abuse. And God of War Ragnarok's producer had to ask everyone to remain patient while waiting for more news on the game. It has since transpired that some members of the gaming community have even been sending unsolicited pictures of their private parts to members of the God of War Ragnarok team. They somehow believe that this would suddenly make Sony Santa Monica give the world an update on the game's release date. Since all of this has happened, prominent members from the industry have been making their voices heard and have called out the toxic behavior of these so-called fans. Following the news that Gilbert had disabled his blog, Naughty Dog co-president Neil Druckmann wrote, quote, "Wow, even wholesome adventure games aren't safe from toxic fans," air quotes in there, "who know better than the original creators. Ron and team, you all keep making what you believe in. It looks gorgeous. I'm there day fucking one," end quote. Meanwhile, Guybrush Threepwood actor Dominic Armato wrote, quote, "For a community that fiercely defends its medium as art, there are an awful lot of people who do their damnedest to treat it like a dumb commodity," end quote. Sony Santa Monica's Cory Barlog also offered his support to Gilbert following the news, writing, quote, "What the hell, people? Don't be a dick to my game dev hero. Sorry for the bullshit, Ron. Thank you for making things that inspire me to make things. Never stop that," end quote. Sadly, this was not the only tweet that Barlog had to share with his followers about just generally being a decent human being. In regard to previously mentioned NSFW pictures that were being sent to the God of War Ragnarok team, Barlog wrote, quote, "Are you fucking kidding me with this now? I cannot believe I even have to say this, but don't fucking send dick pics to anyone on this team or anyone in this industry for that matter. They are busting their ass to make some for you to enjoy. Show some fucking respect," end quote. Sony Santa Monica game writer Alana Pierce went on to give her followers a, quote, "common sense reminder," end quote. And it reads, quote, Screaming at people over video game release dates doesn't accomplish anything at all. Even if harassing people did cause them to give you a date, never. You also gain nothing at all by finding out before a team is ready to share, end quote.
Well,
it's been a week.
Sadly, it's been a week. There's no doubt about it. But let's just be frank here. Toxicity been in fandom for a long time. But sadly, social media and the internet has amplified it to levels of there's no word invented yet to describe them for me. But
shit goblins.
What?
Shit goblins.
Shit goblins.
Shit goblins.
Well, we'll go along with that. These shit goblins.
Put it in the dictionary. Attribute it to me.
Don't deserve any game that comes out for the rest of their gaming lives or whatever. They really don't. They don't deserve to be playing Ragnarok. They don't deserve to play Monkey Island when it comes out, and they don't deserve to play anything whatever comes out later this year or next year or the years further down the line. Like seriously, it's just. There's just too much, man. It really is. They'll talk about their games when they want to talk about their games. They'll give you a release date for their games when they want to give a release date for their games. Stop harassing these people. At the end of the day, it's disgusting. It's deplorable. And to see this is it just gets worse and worse and worse. And people, sadly, for the anonymity that is social media, can get away with it. And it's disgusting. And like sending pictures of your genitalia? You think that was going to be aroused? That's going to be like, hello.
Oh damn! I better give this like person.
What is it you want? Oh, you want that? I can give you that date. Here it is, right now. It's called a "go fuck yourself" type of thing.
Which looking at this picture would be difficult.
I don't understand people. I really don't. Like we were just talking about like at the beginning of like our little conversations. Like we are both with mental health issues. We're both with ADHD, and like this just doesn't make sense to me. That's what makes it even worse. My ADHD goes crazy when things do not make sense to me because of just like how big of a douchebag can you truly be to do this? How idiotic can you be to drop? For a video game. I love video games. I'm a fucking video game developer. Fucking weird saying that, but I love saying that at the same time. But it does not mean you can send people pictures of your genitalia just for a game. It's not the end of the world that any of these games don't come out this year. They'll be fine. There's still plenty of great looking games that are coming out this year. Just open your goddamn eyes.
Dick pics for release dates. Like, I'm curious. I'm a little bit curious to know, like, if dick pics have ever accomplished anything. Ever.
I don't. Probably not.
Like, surely not, right? Like, surely, like, it's never in. Like, I never say never, but surely this is one of those instances where never is the appropriate word. Surely. But like, look, right. A man sees a woman, and I guess there are just some men on the internet who see a woman and think, I know what would make this woman say a picture of my penis.
Yeah.
Like you don't even get like. So as someone who's received unsolicited dick pics, like they don't even show. Like even if you go into a message with a picture in it, it'll just be like blurred out. You can't see it, and it just says like, "Oh, this message may contain the sensitive something or other content." I think. Do you want to see it? And like, no, of course I don't want to see it.
Fucking hell, I don't. No way.
There's a good chance this is a dick. So no.
In more ways than one.
No, thank you. I'm good. Like it's just like that's the God of War stuff, and then there's the Return to Monkey Island stuff where it's like they changed the art style, so now naturally like the Ron Gilbert game development legend is being harassed so badly he's decided he's just going to shut his blog down. And number one, like I'm sad that Ron Gilbert isn't going to be able to just like share whatever he wants about this game that he's obviously excited to work on. But like number 2, fine, good. Like
you do what you need
do
to
it. Do it, definitely. Like
Yeah.
this is why like there was someone who works in the industry who tweeted, I think it was a tweet. I saw this pop up all over the place, but I think they tweeted like about saying like this is why like we don't like game developers or like don't share a lot with the gaming community, because the gaming community responds like this to anything. Like
they really do.
There aren't enough puddles in Spider-Man. That Witcher 3 doesn't look as good as it did like when you showed it off 2 years ago. Like, okay. and then the answer to "and" is usually, so I'm gonna like send ridiculous threats and harass everybody involved.
Exactly.
What? What? Why? What is that going to accomplish? You think if you harass like Insomniac Games like developers on Twitter, they're going to put more puddles in Spider-Man? Like, number one,
well, they did.
I mean, they did. That was really funny. Like, number one, no, they're not going to unless it's a joke at your expense. And number 2, why does it matter? Why does it matter how many puddles there are in Spider-Man? Why does it matter what art style the creator of Monkey Island wants to make Return to Monkey Island? Like, he's in charge of the game, and he has an art team, and they have made, or an artist, I don't know how many people are working on the game, and they've decided this is how they want the game to look.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the end of the discussion. Like, gamers don't have a say.
You don't.
In how a game is made.
Yeah. Gamers, you have no say whatsoever. And this is the thing about it. For some reason, you guys think you have an entitlement to know about everything about a game, release date, everything and whatnot. And it's just like, go screw yourselves, seriously. Like, you don't deserve to know anything. You don't decide when a game comes out, and you don't decide when a game is revealed or whatever. You don't. Go screw yourselves. You are not entitled to anything.
Right? Yeah. It's like I have been waiting for Nintendo to reveal a certain game because I'm really looking forward to it. And I believe it exists and it's coming soon. But and we've had 2 Nintendo Directs in like the last two weeks. And they haven't shown it, because they haven't done that kind of direct yet, and I'm just like, I'm a little bit disappointed that I haven't seen this game, but like that's it. I'm just mildly disappointed, and then I just get on with my day. Like, like I want them to do a thing, and they didn't do it, so I just go, all right.
You think I'm not disappointed that Capcom have not remade Dino Crisis yet? Do you think I'm not disappointed? I'm disappointed, but it doesn't mean I'm blaring at Capcom every single day. Give me my goddamn Dino Crisis remake and send them pictures of my genitalia to them.
So like you haven't found one of the lady developers of just any random Capcom studio and gone, I know what'll get me a Dino Crisis remake.
Game? Hell yeah. Send them a picture of my genitalia. Yeah. Why the hell not? This will get a game activated, won't it? Be made, developed, and everything. It'll give me what I want. Yeah, fucking idiots, man. Like, I want God of War Ragnarok to come out.
Me too.
But for God's sakes, I don't want it to come out now. And like, I'm seriously like, just guys, Corey, I know you're actually technically part of this one. You're actually doing your own another game. There's another team. But the thing about it, they're harassing the guy who's not even attached to the freaking thing.
They're harassing multiple people. Like,
yeah, but he's getting the brunt of it.
Because that's what happens. So like, they'll find anyone with God of War Ragnarok or Sony Santa Monica in their bio and will harass them.
Yeah.
And then someone will stick their head above the parapet, like Alana Pierce or Corey Barlog, and then it's like the eye of Sauron, like in Return of the King, it just goes brah and looks straight at them. You know what I mean? Like, because they dared to be like, "What the fuck are you doing? You fucking shit goblins!"
Idiots. Shit goblins, indeed. That's what you know. You need to change the title to that.
Delay all the video games. Like,
just delay them all.
Just do it. Like, we should treat the gamers how they deserve to be treated, which is like babies. Children. Like very small children. It's like, until you learn to behave, we're taking all of your toys away from you.
Yeah, and we're going to put you in a corner.
if you keep misbehaving, you're not getting them back. Because you don't deserve video games.
You don't. You really don't. And it's just like I feel like I said nothing but love and support to everyone who's been sadly affected by this. It's disgusting to hear this, and I hope, Ron Gilbert, that you find a way that you're able to at least talk about this game. Hopefully, like say Jeff Keighley's next thing at the Gamescom, that's it. When he's doing that thing, maybe that'll be a great thing to maybe just to show it off again. That'll be great to see and everything like that. And
hey, but if we see nothing until the game comes out, fine.
That's fine as well, yeah. And the same goes for every other game developer, but also like everyone at Santa Monica. Like, you keep doing you guys. You keep doing it. You're creating I'm sure you're creating nothing but an amazing game, and no one deserves to play it.
Video games are a miracle, like. And the people that make them are geniuses. I say this all the time. Like,
yeah, the hell yeah, they are.
Like, you're incredible people.
I'm a genius of breaking the fuckers.
I know, right?
Genius of creating them.
Hey, everybody's got to play their part.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah! I'll walk in with a hammer, and we see how it goes.
It's hammer time.
Hammer time. I go in the way I came out, kicking and screaming. Is
that the way you came out of the studio on the day you had COVID? Kicking and screaming.
You guys make it. You guys think what? You make that decision.
I'm not hearing a no. Moody, before we move on to the next news story, I just want to say it's good to have you back.
It's good to be back.
All right.
I don't know how long.
For X amount of time. Like, just give me a few weeks. Just give me a few weeks of not having to go through the stress of booking a person for the podcast. Just... Hell, even just this week has been a godsend. If this week is all I get, at least it was a nice, peaceful, like...
You've got me next week.
Okay, thank God. Don't catch COVID again. Please, I'll probably catch it.
I call it from a partner, so I need to tell my partner this. I actually don't see that many people.
Well, all I'm saying is, right... Neither one of us had caught COVID until you went to work at PlayStation, and then look what happened.
Don't for you catch a COVID. I haven't seen you.
Facts. Let's move on. Cyberpunk 2077 QA Contractor responds to claims it lied to CD Projekt about the state of game. This is from Sean Murray over at The Gamer. He writes, Cyberpunk 2077 famously had a disastrous launch that saw the game delisted on the PlayStation Store and even had CD Projekt personally refund over 30,000 copies. It then spent the next year fixing all the various technical issues before finally working on updating it for current-gen consoles. A recent report from Upper Echelon Gamers explored this topic and alleged much of Cyberpunk 2077's launch issues could be blamed on Quantic Lab, a Romanian company contracted to provide QA testing for Cyberpunk. Among Upper Echelon's claims was Quantic Lab promising CD Projekt a team of veteran testers, but instead providing the Polish developer with junior testers with less than a year of experience. Upper Echelon source at Quantic also alleged staff were told to report a set number of bugs per day, meaning CD Projekt received a deluge of minor issues that might have obscured more major technical problems. Like, I don't even need to read the reply to that to know what is about to be said by the person who works at Quantic Lab, but I'm going to read it anyway. Speaking to VGC, Quantic Lab CEO Stefan Sikarescu didn't deny the allegations, but did say that Upper Echelon seemed to have a fundamental misunderstanding of game development and the QA process. That was more or less what I was going to say. Quote, the video published on social media, as mentioned in your article, starts with incorrect statements about Quantic Lab's history. There seems to be a lack of understanding in the process of how a game is tested before it's released to the market. Quantic Lab supports over 200 projects per year, wow, from several global leading publishers and continues to maintain a quality comes first approach to all the work that we undertake, end quote. Seeker Rescue also suggested that Quantic Lab was likely not the only QA testing firm attached to Cyberpunk 2077. Quote, all our customer agreements are confidential, but in general, global publishers are working with several QA outsourcing companies, not depending solely on one, in addition to internal QA resources at developer level in most cases. Each project we undertake is unique with regard to project requirements. Project direction is agreed and adjusted accordingly as per real-time requirements with our clients. Not in quote. Quantic Lab always strives to work with transparency and integrity with our industry partners, end quote.
This just sounds like CD Projekt Red just trying to post the blame to someone else, like always, like they did, like when they did that fake apology, and they literally said it's my fault. But also, it's QA's fault.
Yeah, it's QA's fault. And now here comes this YouTuber called Upper Echelon Gamers who is like, it's QA's fault. Like, it's a YouTube channel, Upper Echelon Gamers. I've just, I Googled it because I was unsure about who that was. Never heard of it before.
Yeah. I don't believe, like, saying anything what CD Projekt Red says whatsoever right now. They haven't given me anything to prove that they have learnt their lesson or anything like that. Like,
well, no one from CD Projekt was quoted in this article.
Oh, I thought they were.
No, the guy speaking is the guy at Quantic Lab, who is one of the QA testing third party.
The reports from Upper Echelon Gamers.
And the report is the report that it was QA's fault is from Upper Echelon Gamers, which is a YouTube channel.
How many subscribers has it got?
Too many. Because, here's the thing, right? And you can correct me if I'm wrong here. Because you're a QA tester and I'm not. But I read, the part of the paragraphs that were about what Upper Echelon Gamers had said about what was to blame for for Cyberpunk's 2077's launch issues, right? Where they were saying it was contracted out with QA testing. Yes, as somebody who sits and watches the credits of the games that I finish, multiple QA testing studios all around the world will probably have had a hand in this. You see them, the multiple different places that they got QA tests done from. And I was reading the stuff that I just read, and I was like, that doesn't sound like how QA testing works.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, that's what I thought. And then I was like, wait, I've got an ace in the hole. I know a QA tester. I'll just ask him.
Yeah, no, basically you're given tasks to do to find what they do, what they want you to do and everything like that. And then basically they report back what they found and whatnot. That's what happens all the time. And if anything is a game-breaking bug, which I'm guaranteeing you right now, probably a lot of them were game-breaking bugs for Cyberpunk 2077, would have been literally saying, this is a major defect, you need to sort this.
So, yeah, it's and I imagine it works differently at different QA testing departments or, companies that are outsourced too. But, I would imagine, bugs are categorized by type and ranked by severity in some way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, when we report it, we'll put up a level of most of the time it's if it's stopping progress or crashing the game. Basically, it's a major. This is a problem. You need to fix it. If it's something like that's let's say sound not in a cinematic, but the game's still playing and the sound comes back after the cinematic type of thing, it'll be dubbed as a minor, but it'll still get worked upon eventually.
Yeah.
But right now, the game, throughout all the process of when I'm making a game, is excuse me. If a major bug comes in, they get onto that straight away. They always do, and they always have. And CD Projekt Red, at the end of the day, we already know this game needed at least another year in development before it was properly released, if not 2 years. At the end of the day, to be properly released in its full glory. We all know this. It's like proper journalism has done this, unlike upper echelon gamers, whatever the hell site this is for YouTube. But at the end of the day, like, I do not deny that there will probably be junior testers testing this game. I do not deny that. They would have been, because that's how you get freaking experience. I am a junior tester, and I'm working on things that is getting me experience. That's how I learn. That's how everyone learns. But I'm guaranteeing you, echelon, what's it called?
Quantic Lab.
Critic Lab would have been also having veteran testers on there as well. There's no doubt about that. But they would have, what they would have done is they would have separated the main testers into parts, veteran testers, to be literally saying, we need you to check these major bugs. I never get given, right at this moment in time, a major thing that's gonna that's probably too ahead of me right now. And that's just fair. I understand that. I'm getting given the things that they know that they know it's going to get skipped through really, that I'm going to be able to adjust to really easy and move forward. And eventually, I've already been told, eventually I will get moved on to doing these other things as well. But it's a thing, it's a process. It's called freaking training at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's how you learn. Like, you know, like there are multiple ways to get into game dev. That's one of them, yeah.
The junior testers would have literally said, check if this has sound. Check if this combat works. Check if this.
Yeah, because it's about like, so I heard, and sorry to cut you off because I know you weren't the expert here, but I heard an anecdote about, I saw a joke about QA testing once, which was like, you know, it's like a person walks in, like a game dev walks into a bar, and then it was like, like a programmer walks into a bar, and then it's like a QA tester walks into a bar, then jumps into a bar, then runs into a bar, then slides into a bar. It's like, it's all about like doing everything you could possibly think of in one interaction.
Exactly.
To see if anything breaks and then moving on to another one. And I'm assuming you're not just like, I'm assuming you don't just have a copy of Horizon Forbidden West in front of you and you're just playing the game like normal. I imagine you have like specific parts of the game that you're looking at.
Yeah, I have set tasks to do all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm not like a proper I'm not a proper game tester. I'm a software tester. I'm testing the firmware updates that we're going to be releasing further down the line and whatnot. That's what I do. But I'm testing it to make sure that it's not breaking the games and everything. And I have to do a set thing of like 50 things. 50 to 60 things, and not even more. It's so much that you have to do, and some of it can be very tedious and very, very much a big pain in the backside, but I love it.
Well, yeah,
because I'm loving it.
Yeah,
and everything, and like
what you want to do.
Yeah. These people, like, I do not believe anything what this upper echelon drinking game has done, has saying whatsoever. And at the end of the day, when they go to the VGC, a proper outlet, to talk, like, seriously, bugger off, man. Seriously, bugger off. Like, when no one is talking about these people, if Quantic Lab is so big, if they were that bad, someone else from another studio would have talked about them by now.
Yeah.
There would be so many articles out there. There would be. The whole thing's a load of...
Oh, not even just necessarily articles. It could just be a case of the industry and in general would start working with them. Like, if they were bad at... Like, if and this is purely hypothetical, if Quantic Lab had worked on, like, had been like the primary QA tester of like every broken AAA game for the past like few years, like they'd probably get less work, right?
Exactly.
Like if the fault could somehow be laid at their door for Cyberpunk and Anthem and Fallout 76 and
exactly. That's what's going to happen. They won't get work or anything like that, and that's a shame on QA testers and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if they aren't getting managed properly, then I can see where they're coming from one certain point of view. But I just don't believe anything of this upper echelon thing whatsoever.
So I went on Upper Echelon's YouTube channel because I was like, hey, what else has this Upper Echelon game has made? And I looked at their most popular. They've got their popular uploads tab, and one of the most popular videos is called SJW Culture is Ruining Gaming, and the ruining gaming is in capital letters. So I was like, oh, okay, I can disregard anything that this YouTube says because
they're an alt-right company.
They're an alt-right gaming YouTuber who thinks that social justice is destroying video games. Cool. I don't need to pay any more attention.
Exactly.
I can close the tab and never think about them again. Because it really is that simple.
It really is, yeah. That tells you everything about them. So literally, they would not have done proper journalism whatsoever. They would have literally maybe spoken to maybe some couple of people who they think they know in the industry who are probably really angry, and that's it. That's it.
Sure.
Who will have the same mindset as them.
Yeah. I don't know who Quantic Lab is. I mean, I think that's by design, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because a lot of people, until I was researching it at college and everything like that, I did not know much about QA and testing and whatsoever. So I obviously had to research it, and I was looking into is it just the studios that house them in, or is there proper companies that are QA testers and everything? And there are QA testers and everything. There are companies out there that focus on being QA testers, and it's an amazing thing to see.
Well, it's especially as video games get more and more complex, right?
Hell yeah.
It works to it's a good idea. Maybe it's outsourced. We see it with art and animation, we've heard about, or it's studios will outsource art and animation to other places necessarily, externally. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Apparently they have 4 offices around the world. They joined the Embracer Group in 2020. They're a Google Stadia partner. And they're certified Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. Started with 12 testers. Just thought you'd like to. I went on their website, on their About Us, on their website.
I'm on their website.
Thought that might have been interesting.
I'm gonna save this.
Fair enough. Let's move on. You say, it's I just thought to ask. When I read this story and I was like, I'm gonna put this in the podcast, and I was like, oh wait, I've got Moody back. I can just ask him, how does this work?
Yeah.
Boom! I just did more journalism than Upper Echelon Gamers. I'm a genius. It's something I worry about all the time. Is am I gonna mischaracterize something? Am I gonna misstate something? Am I gonna get something wrong? And
the thing is, though, you hold your hand up if you got something wrong.
Oh, definitely.
These idiots won't.
Definitely. It's why my long form videos take so long to come out, because I have to fact check every sentence. Is this correct? Is this how this happened? Is this right? And it's the ADHD part of my brain.
Exactly.
But anyway, there was a mini Nintendo Direct, and I've been making more of an effort to talk about video games on this video game podcast. As has been pointed out to me, this is a video game podcast, and maybe we should talk about video games from time to time. I've been doing this thing lately where I haven't been necessarily watching things like this. It was at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. I was I'm busy. It's the middle of the day. Didn't have time. And I've just gone on to I have a website which has got the breakdown of everything that happened. Or someone's Twitter, there'll be a tweet thread where it's just everything that happened, and I can just scroll through it and go, that looks cool. Ooh, I'm interested in that, etc.
Yeah.
And I've just been doing that recently.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I have no thoughts on the Nintendo Direct because I didn't watch it. It seems like it was pretty cool. There's some stuff that stepped out to me that I looked interesting. Nier Automata is coming to Nintendo Switch.
That's going to be interesting.
That's cool, man. I remember beforehand there was the rumors that a big game from a few years ago is coming to Nintendo Switch, and it's going to be announced at this Direct, and everybody was like, oh my god, Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to Nintendo Switch. And I was like, that doesn't seem physically possible. I suppose you could have a cloud version of the game.
I think this is going to be a cloud version of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, and then it was it's Nier Automata, and I was like, that makes more sense in my mind.
That's fair.
Yeah, it feels like more of a Switch game. Did you see any of the any of the like stuff that came out of the direct, apart from the stuff that I bombed Discord with on the day.
Yes, I've seen it. Yeah,
Oh,
I
nice.
watched the direct on Joe Medforce's.
Hey, Joe Medforce. Yeah, I saw he was reacting to it.
You got terrible takes on Stranger Things, Joe, but I still love you, mate. I'm joking, Joe. I'm joking.
So how was the direct? How did you find the direct?
It was all right.
Yeah,
it was all right.
Like it struck me like even when they announced it as one of those ones that was going to be fine, but like not necessarily like gonna have anything that was like, oh my god, like that was incredible. Like secretly sitting there hoping for Bayonetta 3 to turn up because it was like the third party partner one, and I was like,
I was kind of hoping that as well because it's on my fucking fantasy critic.
And I just want to really play it.
I can't delete any more games.
No. But yeah, like there's a couple of cool games. I really like the look of Blanc, I think was my standout game. Which was like the black and white adventure game.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That one just caught my eye straight away.
For me, I think that was the one that made me go, was Return to the Monkey Island because I love that franchise and I'm really excited to play that game. And to see it, it's interesting. It's going to be a Switch console exclusive for now. So I have a choice of that or play it on PC. So it's going to be intriguing.
I'm going to tell you a secret. It's not a secret, but I'm going to tell you a secret. I've never played any of the Monkey Islands.
No problem.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying that as in you're going to go, what? I'm just like, it's just something it's a gap in my video game history. I've never played it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things like everyone has a gap. Everyone has a gap.
Everyone has gaps. And if you think you don't, you do. Because nobody has played all of the classic video games. But yeah, no, it looks cool. It looks interesting. Like,
no doubt. Like there's a lot of games that we've seen. I think the thing that holds this one down a little bit, it's like it's games that we've seen a few of these games already from other conferences. So like seeing it's like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. We want to see it on everything. That's fantastic and whatnot. But so it wasn't like maybe the like, oh my god type of thing. But yeah. It's got game like I said when it came to the Xbox One, it had games for everybody. That's the most important thing out there.
Sure. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, like it's someone who's like Sayonara Wild Hearts is an amazing game. So I was like, I saw that and I was like, awesome. Like, I can't wait. Like, there's an Annapurna interactive showcase at the end of the month, so I'm hoping we get to see more of that. And a Thirsty Suitors release date, please, thank you. And so I was automatically interested in that. Live Alive getting a demo is cool. I might actually play that because I did that with Triangle Strategy because the demo progress carries over into the game, and I'm definitely going to play it.
Well, you've picked it on your fantasy critic.
I'm taking a chance because it's like supposed
You're so far
to be
ahead, and I'm like, hey, I can take a risk.
No, like I explained to Elfie when we did a fantasy critic check-in last week. Like I set the games totals that we all had to like pick, like the number of games you had to pick, so high because I was like, I want to force everybody to have to take chances because I think it makes it more interesting. But Live Alive, no, it's a classic game, right? It's like it's like a really old JRPG that never got released outside of Japan. It set the standard for like other JRPGs in certain aspects of like how it did things or the way it worked. So I'm definitely like, it's for me, like looking to play it, it's not necessarily me just going, I want to play this awesome game. I do want to play this because it looks awesome, but also it's like archaeology. It's like, oh, I'm going to play a piece of gaming history that I've never been able to play before.
Yeah.
So it's got that going for it as well. And it just looks cool. I like it. I like 2D HD, like as an art style. I think it looks like chef's kiss. What do you think about Sonic Frontiers? I don't think we've talked about Sonic Frontiers.
I have no interest in it.
I'm curious, but I don't know if I'm gonna play it, if that makes sense. Like, it's weird to me.
Well, last Sonic game you rated the same as Assassin's Creed, so
And I stand by it. This is a very different Sonic game. This Sonic game more closely resembles Assassin's Creed. Sonic Forces. Not a terrible game. Harvestella as well was the other one that like jumped out at me, which is like Harvest Moon. People kept calling it like Square Enix's Stardew Valley, but it's definitely got more of a Harvest Moon vibe. Meets Final Fantasy. It's like a JRPG that's also a farming sim. And I'm like, that's fascinating. How are those two things going to get smashed together into one video game?
Yeah. Well, there's a will, there's a way.
Look, man, I will always go back for like games that are trying something different. Because I'm just like, maybe it'll be a mess, maybe it'll be terrible, but at least you tried.
You have to give it a try.
You went for it, and I respect it. So I mean, I'm interested to play it. Not necessarily to put it in a fantasy critic team, but I'm interested to try the game. And I think that's everything. Like we've got the list of like all of the games here, but I think that's everything that like jumped out to me.
Like personally. I said, like a lot of it's already been shown by what we've already talked about on multiple occasions already. So, like,
yeah, like Portal coming to Switch is cool, but I mean, I've played them on PC. I was support a speedrun by a tool-assisted script bot the other day. That was interesting. Anyway, it's halftime, Moody. You know what that means. I just realized, did you say it's Monday? You know what that means at the beginning of the podcast?
I don't think I did.
Shit. Oh, man. It's podcast's invalid. We're gonna have to stop.
All right. Well, we'll have to do it tomorrow. Good night. Bye.
See you later. It's halftime, which means it's time for Indie Game of the Week. This is the thing we do at roughly the middle of every podcast, where we talk about cool indie games that we've seen and how cool they are. And this week's Indie Game of the Week is a Mail Time, which I've been meaning to talk about for ages because it looks cool. Mail Time is a relaxing cottagecore adventure set in a peaceful forest far, far away. It's your first day on the job as a newly minted mail scout. Equipped with a mushroom hat, a pack full of letters, and unbridled enthusiasm, it's time to deliver letters and packages across the Grumblewood Grove. Their recipients eagerly await the sight of your mushroom hat, so don't tarry. Run, jump, glide, and make your way across the forest to deliver parcels and joy to the cute critters that inhabit these woods. If you ever wanted to enter a fairy tale, this is your chance. Explore the cozy, peaceful world crafted by Kayla van der Degel and make friends with all manner of forest critters. It's being developed and published by Freedom Games and is coming Q4 2022 to PC via Steam.
Is this your Lake 2?
Lake 2 Electric Boogaloo. Lake, but this time it's a fairy tale. Like, yeah, I mean, if I pitched a game to you as Lake, but it's in a fairy tale, no complaints.
No complaints whatsoever.
Like, it looks so cool. I don't know if you've gone on the website. What is this? 2000s?
I've just had a look at the video of it. Looks funny.
I like
intriguing art style.
Art style. Yeah, I was trying to drive you through. I was talking about the art style because I was like, I'm sure this is like a mood. Like, this looks like a moody, like art style looking game.
I like an aesthetic sometimes.
I love it. It's great. Like, I love that we have like such a wide like diversity of like different types of aesthetic. You know.
Yeah, I understand that.
You can look at like the Quarry that we just played, where we were both like just in awe of like how good the facial animations in the game were.
It was a beautiful game. There's no doubt about it.
It was like, wow, like, yeah. And then you look at Mail Time, which is like, this looks really cozy, and I love like the almost cartoony art style of this. And then like something like Animal Well, where it's just like, look at this pixel art.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, It's bonkers of how many good-looking games there is out there with so many different unique styles, which just makes it even better. It's what you want.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Mail time. Go wishlist it. The link's in the description. Wherever you listen to this podcast. My hope is to just make everybody who listens to the podcast, just to make all of their wish lists explode with games. Like we did Indie Game of the Week last week, which was Lost in Play. And Elfie literally went out and got it on Fantasy Critic. As well as added to a wish list. And I was like, fair. I was tempted.
Yeah.
It looks cool. It looks like such a I don't know what the word I was trying to think of there was, but I'll go with wholesome. It looks like such a wholesome game. Anyway. Should we move back out of halftime? Get back out from the tunnel, walk onto the pitch.
Prepare for the second half.
And prepare for the second half. We need a whistle for this section of the podcast, like a whistle.
I don't think it'll come from them.
I was going to say, like, I don't think, I think our microphones will like be like, whistle? Nah. I tried wolf whistling on the stream last night. It didn't work.
Yep.
Right. Anyway, let's get on. Itch.io creator hits out a copycat. Let's try that again.
That's a word.
Sure. Itch.io creator hits out a copycat for using site's code. This is from Danielle Partis over at gamesindustry.biz. The owner of indie game marketplace Itch.io has accused another website of stealing the site's code and selling work without the creator's consent. According to its website, W3Itch.io is described as, quote, an open marketplace for independent creators, end quote, inspired by Itch.io, but it also incorporates cryptocurrency payment options for users, something that Itch.io is strongly against. On Twitter, Itch creator Leif Corcoran asked the website to, quote, not rip off, end quote, his work. W3Itch.io responded to the tweet and admitted to using Itch's CSS files to build its own site. The creator also filed a complaint about the move to W3Itch.io's GitHub page and said, quote, you have stolen the UI of Itch.io, blatantly ripping it off, in addition to using our name directly in your project. As far as I'm concerned, this is a scam to trick people by using Itch.io's established brand on an unrelated project for your own profit, end quote. Corcoran requested that the website immediately remove any likeness, including Itch's name, from the project. He also pointed out that the majority of the games currently listed on the website are stolen from RPGmaker.net, with no apparent consent from the creators, end quote. W3Itch.io responded to the accusation via Twitter and said it would coordinate with creators to remove stolen contents.
And the website is no longer up.
It's not? Good.
I've just gone up. I've just gone to it.
Good. Fuck them. They can get fucked. Yeah, 404 does not. The page does not.
Website
exist.
is down. So basically, they knew what they were doing. They tried to make a quick buck, and Itch.io literally slapped them in the face. And yo, don't copycat, don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is just another hey, cryptocurrency is a scam. Like, they cloned a website, stole a bunch of games, and tried to get you to pay for those games via cryptocurrency so that they could run off with the cryptocurrency. And it fucking sucks, man. Like, fuck off.
Do they not realize the cryptocurrency is kind of like...
I mean, yeah, it's kind of in a bit of a free fall right now, but like, cryptocurrency for some people who are invested in it feels like a bit like a cult. Like cult mentality. Like there's some people who are just in it because they're fucking profiteers and they want to make money, right? Like, and then there's the people, but then there's the people that they conned into like buying into crypto, with like promises of like to the moon and all that stuff, which just feels like a cult. It feels like a cult mentality. Like they wish each other like good morning every day, like GM. It's like a thing. It's like a thing that they do every day, and it's just like, this is weird behavior. Like, you need to see this, like what you're actually doing. Like, this is not good.
Were you selling pictures of your genitalia?
I mean, it's probably the same people. Like,
probably, yeah.
They're buying their indie games on W3H.io and then they're sending pictures of their dicks to people to get game release dates confirmed.
Yep. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, don't copycat, don't steal, don't plagiarize, don't do any of this, man. Just don't.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Just like, if you see something...
Screw cryptocurrency.
And if you see something out there that has like... That is like tied into like cryptocurrency or NFTs or anything, just...
Walk away.
Block it and move on. Because it's not worth your time. It really isn't. It never has been. I really wish I had like that would have been a good way to segue into like some Square Enix NFT nonsense, but I don't have any this week. And be like, speaking of walk away. Sadly. I just have a story about pride. Night in the Woods' mayor delivers a message of pride at Portland football match. This is from Sean Murray over at The Gamer. He writes, a recent soccer match, or football to literally every other country on Earth, featured a giant banner of Night in the Woods' Mayor Borowski sharing a message of pride. For those of you who haven't played Night in the Woods, it's a narrative game about anthropomorphic feline Mayor Borowski who drops out of college due to a worsening mental health. The game has been celebrated not only for its insightful story about youth and mental health, but also for its incredibly inclusive cast of characters. For example, May is pansexual, saying in-game, quote, I don't care if they're a boy or a girl, as long as they are like ARRG, end quote. Being the perfect video game character to represent the diversity of both Portland and Pride, fans of the Portland Timbers decided to make May the centerpiece of a 3-banner message raised during a recent match. Quote, from Stonewall to Brick and Portland and Axe, read one banner, while the other said, respect our pride or expect our wrath. May was raised last, showcasing the character with an axe over her shoulder and the pride colours on the axe's hilt. Scott Benson, one of the creators of Night in the Woods, caught wind of the video on social media and wrote, quote, jaw dropped. This is the closest I have ever been to being involved in sports. I'm pleased that our beloved dirtball from down the block continues to show up in unexpected places, and also that those places are generally very good. Anyway, I endorse the message and the implied threat of axe violence, end quote. The Timbers Army regularly raises enormous banners during matches, although most don't feature a queer video game icon. The official Tumblr's Twitter account also shared a supportive message, writing, quote, Portland is fried, end quote.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Night in the Woods is a fucking great video game, by the way. Check it out. It is really cool. 2017, I think it came out. Might be on Game Pass, because it was the last time I checked. But I played that game when it came out. It's great. And it was in my Game of the Year list. And as you know, Moody, in 2017, that was a very competitive list.
That was indeed. It was indeed. There's no doubt about that. I'm just so happy. Yeah, this is a great thing to hear. Like you say, pride is awesome and amazing, and it's an important thing, that aspect that it's in the world and everything. And yeah, well done.
Good for Portland. What was it? Timbers. Portland Timbers.
Portland football team. Not the Portland American rugby team, the Portland football team.
I just wrote Night in the World into Google for some reason instead of Night in the Woods.
Oh God, what did you get?
Well, it's actually a book, so it actually exists. Like, is the thing, like what I typed.
It was like, is this something I would like?
I was like, interesting. Interesting.
Night in the World.
Night in the World. Night in the Woods is a cool game. This was a cool message. It was nice to see it pop up on my Twitter account, and I love Scott Benson's response. This is the closest I've ever been to being involved in sports. Anyway, I endorse the implied threat of axe violence.
And shout out to pansexuality.
All the pansexual people that I personally know are cool as fuck.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Hell, I'll just say it. All the queer people I know are the coolest people on the planet. All right, let's crack on. It's nice when we get to talk about nice things on the podcast.
I'm feeling like you're literally gonna go into a thing now.
No, we're gonna laugh at a company. No one likes EA's joke about single player games. Even EA. This is from Tyler Wilde over at PC Gamer. He writes, brands are now social media influencers who say things like vibe check and I was today years old when. Behavior which backfired for EA this week. The publisher's careless meme format, Mad Libs, led to a tweet that was taken as an attack on fans of single-player games and the developers who make them. Current and ex-employees of the company, including a Respawn head, Vince Zampella, responded publicly. The tweet in question had such an incendiary effect that I almost dare not repeat it, but here we go. Quote, they're a 10, but they only like playing single-player games, end quote. The marketing person who wrote that tweet is saying, if you can believe it, that the most attractive person they can imagine would be rendered unattractive if they didn't have an interest in multiplayer games. Thousands responded to the tweet, which is generally a good thing when you're a brand's social media account, but the nature of the responses is probably not what EA was aiming for. The joke has been perceived as an intentional or accidental expression of contempt for single-player games due to greater profit potential offered by multiplayer live service games, as well as an embarrassing gaffe for EA, given that many of its studios produce single-player games or mods. Vince Zampella, head of EA... Vince Zampella, head of EA-owned studio Respawn, responded to the tweet with a relatively mellow facepalm emoji. Respawn's biggest game is Apex Legends, a live service battle royale game, but the studio is also known for Titanfall 2's single-player campaign and the recent single-player-only action game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. A few former BioWare developers were more explicit about their feelings. Dragon Age writer David Gader said, quote, as usual, EA jumps on a trend, misses the point, punches itself in the face, end quote. Former Dragon Age designer Mike Laidlaw called the tweet, quote, tone deaf, end quote. Former BioWare studio manager Aaron Flynn tweeted, quote, you make single-player games, end quote. The most cutting response came from former Visceral Games producer Zach Mumbach. EA shuttered Visceral in 2014 while it was working on a single-player Star Wars game, and the popular belief is that EA did so because it didn't consider single-player games profitable enough. Quote, this is the company that shut down my studio and laid off around 100 great developers because we were making a single-player game. Also, if you break a game rating scores down to a 10-point scale, most EA games are a solid 6 or 7. Not because the developers are bad, but because EA, the corporation, forces them to rush games out. EA corporate leadership wouldn't know what a 10 looks like in terms of video games, end quote.
So, like, I had no idea about this whatsoever.
Yes.
I was asking about this on Discord.
You were.
And like,
because I threw it in, it was the Vince Zampella thing where it was just like, I thought that tickled me a bit.
That's fair. No, that's fair. I'm not gonna lie, I don't care. EA makes gaffes all the time. Let them. If that's what they want to do.
I am.
About that.
We're going to laugh at them.
If they're gonna be idiots, let them be idiots. There's no doubt about it. I won't lie, the tweet at the end, the last one, I think is pretty spot on. Like, yeah, like, they don't know what a 10 is. We know they don't. They don't know what a 10 is whatsoever. Their games are literally around a 6 to 7, for the most part, because they always rush the games out. We know this. We know this for a fact and everything like that. So, like, I know everyone was, like, making fun of them and everything like that and taking jabs at it, but I was just like, he's done another gaff. All right. I think it's just because I was still in with COVID.
Yeah,
I was like,
well, no,
I don't care.
There's no deeper meaning here. Like, I'm not going to suddenly like swivel into like an attack on like the capitalist corporate culture of EA. No, they made a tweet that was stupid, and I loved how everyone responded. Not how everyone responded, obviously.
Well, it's basically just the same tweet of like what they've like said before. Like one of the tweets says, like, this is from the studio who literally thought single player games were dead and everything like that. Like, yeah, it's like we all know. Like, for me, I think when it comes to the developers, I think it's very funny, and I think it's like spot on with everything if they said and everything like that. But people like from who aren't in the industry or just journalists and everything like that, for me, it's just like, shut your mouth. You haven't got a clue.
Again, I'm not reading any further into it then.
Yeah.
Idiots.
Yeah,
that was it. That was it. That was it. Like,
yeah.
Any further from it's just like, okay, I mean, like, you can read into it further if you want. For me, it's just going, you dumbasses. I can see where this is going.
Yeah, they were dumbasses.
Where's the
about
popcorn?
Yeah, they were dumbasses. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. They were dumbasses.
I like my favorite, like the Visceral Games developer tweet was obviously very prescient, but my favorite one was definitely the Aaron Flynn one where he was just pointing out, you make single player games, right? Like you're literally making single player games right now. Oops. Anyway, Fall Guys hits 20 million players within days of going free to play. This is for Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer. Yep, that happened. Within 48 hours of the game going free to play, they hit 20 million players. And the Twitter put out, quote, "Massive thank you to all who have stumbled. We reached an incredible 20 million players in the first 48 hours of free-for-all. See you this weekend, my beans." End quote.
Congratulations. Fall Guys is an amazing game. It is so much fun. It's one of those great single players. One of those great multiplayer games.
What a great single player game.
It's one of those great multiplayer games that just somehow just hooks you.
Wait,
and it's kept people going. So well done. I'm
Fall
so
Guys.
happy for them. Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah, we bought them at the same time.
We did.
We did.
I just kept mine in the box. He was like, "You're staying in the box."
Yeah, there's a part of me that wishes I'd done that now. It wouldn't have fit in with like the rest of my like plushies and stuff, but it falls over really easily. Which makes sense, I guess,
That's fair.
But no, this is cool. I streamed Fall Guys a couple weeks ago when I was just like, I can't be arsed playing like anything that requires much effort. What do I got? And then like it's scrolling through and I was like, oh, Fall Guys, I'll play Fall Guys. And I was like, yeah, it's amazing how like you can just like not play the game for like 6 months and then just jump back in and be like, oh yeah, this is like such an approachable game. Like
yeah. I think it's very easy just to get into. It's like nothing to worry about and it's just simple to play.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think every time I pick it up I do like have that moment of why don't we play this more? And then we don't play it again for like 6 months, and then I go. It's the cycle. It's the vicious cycle, and then I get to the point where I'm like, why don't we play this more? Why don't we play this more? Because we play Faz, and that's fine too. Faz is a great game. Dead game though, Moody. Fall Guys is a dead game, obviously.
Fall Guys is a dead game. There's no doubt.
Only has 20 million players.
I know, and it's not number one on Twitter, on Twitch.
So if you're not number one, if you're not literally number one, like you're a dead game.
You're a dead game.
Curious.
That is facts.
That is facts. The only game that is alive right now, according to Twitch.tv, is just chatting. So there are no video games. All video games are dead. That's it. Like, it's over. We're done. Pack it up. We can go home. There are no more video games. Everybody must chat to each other. I'm not gonna lie, when I started that bit, I was really hoping just chatting would be at the top. I'd already constructed the joke in my head. Anyway, Sea of Stars, the retro RPG prequel to The Messenger, has been delayed to 2023. This is from Marcus Stewart over at Game Informer. He writes, Sea of Stars, the promising-looking retro RPG from the team behind The Messenger, is the latest title to get pushed out of 2022. Developer Sabotage posted a message on Twitter stating it simply wants to polish up the adventure as much as possible without crunching its staff. The game was first revealed in 2020 after a successful Kickstarter campaign and evokes JRPGs like Chrono Trigger, Illusion of Gaia, and Breath of Fire. It even features music contributions by Chrono Trigger composer Yasunori Mitsuda. Despite being a role-playing title, it serves as a prequel to 2018's The Messenger, an Ninja Gaiden-inspired action game that was well received. Just one way to put it. Bit of an understatement. Well received, yes.
Take your time. Like I say, this game, it looks amazing. And take your time.
Yeah, again.
I'm excited for it. If you need to take your time and polish it and make sure your staff aren't crunching and everything like that, go for it.
Yep. Same. Am I disappointed? Yeah, a bit. I like this. Me and Sadie sat down in January, and this was one of my most anticipated games of 2022. So, like, am I a bit gutted? Yeah. Did I see it coming? Yeah, that's why I didn't pick it up on Fantasy Critic immediately. Like,
Am I going to send a picture of my genitalia for telling me the release date?
yeah.
No.
Tell me the release
No.
date, Sea of Stars.
No, I'm not going to do that.
No, you know what though? This is just the perfect opportunity for people to go and play the Messenger if you haven't played the Messenger, because that is a great game.
Mm-hmm.
I love the soundtrack. Like, I actually actively listen to the soundtrack, like, separate from the game. But no, like, yeah, I don't mind when video games come out. Like, I genuinely don't.
When I get to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I talked to Alfie about this last week because one of the news stories was related to, like, people getting mad about game delays, and it's just like, no, like, it's fine. It'll come out when it comes out, and then when I play it, it'll be awesome. Because we talked about, actually, funny enough, we talked about Cyberpunk last week. And like, I don't want any game to be in that situation of like rushing to get out, and then it's not all it could be.
Exactly.
A delayed game is delayed. A delayed game is a chance to be good, but a rushed game will be bad forever. Totally butchered that quote. It's probably not anywhere near it, but I'm standing by it. That's what happens when you don't look the quote up surreptitiously on your laptop, have it in front of you, ready to read, and you just go with it, even though you've got a terrible memory. The Amy Alexander story. Speaking of stories, I've got a bit of a story here. Not necessarily a news story, just a story. The unfortunate Super Mario Sunshine Summer Games Done Quick run. This is from Imran Khan over at Fanbyte, who writes, Summer Games Done Quick, an annual video game charity drive that raises money while people play video games very quickly, is not an event that runs like clockwork. The people that make it happen work tirelessly to get everything going on a schedule, and the speedrunners who perform the feats that raise money are generally experts in their games, but there's always a human element. Sometimes things run behind, sometimes a trick doesn't work the first 2, 3, or 4 times the runner tries it. Sometimes they get a game over 1 hour into a 3-hour run. That was the unfortunate place that SB Runs, or simply SB, found himself with his SGDQ Super Mario Sunshine run. SB is the current world record holder in the 120 shines category of Super Mario Sunshine speedruns, which means that SB has the fastest time in the world for getting yes. This means not only knowing where every shine in the game is, but also collecting every blue coin hidden around Isle Delfino. 10 blue coins can be... Yes. Collecting a lot of stuff, basically. When it comes time for the actual run, things were continuing fine for a while. SB was making a good go of it, losing the occasional life, but nothing too dramatic. When he got to Pinner Park's secret level, however, things suddenly turned south. Secret levels strip Mario of flood, meaning there's no safety net if you miss a jump. Pinner Park's secret level is a cacophony of floating platforms that move on a timer, so not taking an opportunity means a time loss, and not making a jump means death. It was there that SB lost his final life. Quote, being flustered and nervous, I forgot to check my life count. When it happened, I was beside myself and I didn't know what to do, end quote. There was no safety save for Super Mario Sunshine speedruns. Every time you get a shine on one of those blue coins, the GameCube would want to try and save, wasting about 3 seconds for each one. Even if the player said no, constant pestering across 120 shines and 240 coins could add upwards of 20 minutes to a run, which is kind of antithetical to getting through a game quickly. So most Sunshine runners just don't have a memory card inserted at all. In the clip, SB's couch commentators that are usually also experts in the game and friends of the runner were a little concerned. The somewhat ironically named One-Ups for Life immediately piped up, quote, do you have no low lives? Have you saved? End quote. No, SB replied. So what are you going to do about that? One-Ups for Life said, trying to find a solution. Uh-oh, SB said. The realization further dawned on SB as he checked the file load screen before becoming cognizant of the fact that there was no memory card and thus no save file. Nearly an hour into the run, there was no immediate good solution. The world record is just shy of 3 hours, and they couldn't just end the segment and bring in the next game. It would throw the schedule off even more. But they couldn't do another 120 shine run. There wasn't enough time. Quote, luckily, the GDQ tech team suggested a challenge run, and my amazing commentary team picked up the slack, since I was unable to speak for quite a bit after that. End quote. The new challenge designed by the GDQ producers for SB was to get as many shines as possible as he could and then beat the game before the timer runs out. SB agreed, though was clearly despondent. Luckily, the commentators with him tried to keep the conversation going, talking about various ins and outs of Mario Sunshine that you might not notice as a casual player. They talked about the paths not taken, how speedrunners get strategies that are currently employed, and generally tried to spur SB on as he played and quietly contemplated the last hour in his head. Quote, "Mostly I thought that I just made a fool of myself in front of 70,000 people," end quote. These feelings were short-lived, however, as the GDQ audience quickly donated and wrote in to support the clearly disheartened runner. Donations came pouring in, telling SB they support him, that they were proud he picked himself up and just started again. It came to a head when the Super Mario Sunshine speedrunning community pooled their donations together and told SB they support him on air. SB says that's when the mood changed for him. After this turning point, SB was racking up shines left and right. He stopped at 83 shines at roughly 2 hours, 57 minutes and 9 seconds. 8 minutes before the cutoff, by trading in 170 blue coins for a final 17 shines. After defeating Bowser at the end, that made it 84 shines total, a feat he accomplished to a roaring ovation at the first in-person Games Done Quick event since the pandemic began. All told, GDQ raised about $20,000 for Doctors Without Borders during SB's run just from donations, something not very common in the dead of night. That's a lot to feel good about, but SB is still kind of processing the whole thing. Not necessarily something you discuss, just a fun story. I was watching this as part of GDQ, and it was just like, it's one of those, shit, everything just went wrong. Like, everything just went wrong. What do we do? And then the community rallied, and it was just nice. It was nice to see.
Yeah, no doubt. Sounds like it.
That was it. I wanted to tell the story. It's my podcast. I can do what I want.
Yeah. You can do whatever you want.
They raised more than $3 million because it finished. Well, it's finishing. It finished earlier today. So they raised like $3 million plus for Doctors Without Borders. I love GDQ. It's nice to have the crowd back. Everybody's masked up, and the chairs, you can see the chairs in the back are like properly spaced out and stuff. It's not like that bloody AnimeCon video that was going around Twitter where they literally filled the entire hall to the point where people couldn't move and they had to fucking close it off. But, yeah, the crowd really does make a difference. But anyway, Moody, that's it. Should we do games out this week?
Let's do it. Games out this
Let's do it. On July 7th, Witch Strandings comes to PC. You are a strand of light in a top-down open world inspired by dark fairy tales. Create pathways through the darkness, nurture the creatures of the forest, repair ancient structures, and ultimately confront the witch who broke this place. Then on July 8th, Arcadegeddon comes to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. It's also going to be available for PS Plus, whatever the bottom tier subscribers are. So all PS Plus subscribers, I guess. Rise up and play with up to 3 friends in this ever-evolving cooperative multiplayer shooter. Explore multiple biomes, mini-games, find hidden chests, and defeat numerous enemies and bosses. Lastly, also on July 8th, Madison comes to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Madison is a first-person psychological horror game that delivers an immersive and terrifying experience with the help of an instant camera. I just, read right through a full stop there. As you do. Let me try that again. With the help of an instant camera, connect the human world with the beyond, take pictures, and develop them by yourself. Solve puzzles, explore your surroundings, and most importantly, survive. We're in that lull. Summer is finally a lull again, Moody. For the last 2 years, summer has been fucking insane with the number of games that are coming out. But it's finally back to normal. It's finally lulling to let us all catch up and maybe pick up one or two cool looking games that are coming out to fill the gaps. But I feel like we haven't had a break from non-stop new releases for 2.5 years.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Do you remember this time last year when we had the Google Calendar up and literally there was that one 9-day period in July where 15 games were coming out? and they all looked pretty good.
Yes.
I still have like cold sweats thinking about that sometimes. PTSD flashbacks. I just wake up like, no, don't make me choose. Anyway, it's time for OpenCritic Head to Head. This is the game we play every week on the podcast where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of an upcoming game or two. Whoever guesses closest to the score at the time of recording gets a point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of DNF Duel, which is a fighting game, so I'm told. Don't know anything about it. Anyway, I guessed it would get an 83. Moody guessed it would get an 80. And Elfie guessed it would get a 76. And at the time of recording, DNF Duel has an OpenCritic average of 80, which means Moody's on a roll. Moody's at 4 points in the last 2 weeks. And it brings the scores to Amy 14, Moody 12, with our guests scoring 2 points. I'm just going to, I'm just going to applaud. 2 in a row is impressive. Especially when you guess the same number for both of them. Don't think I didn't notice that. What was it I said 3 weeks ago? 88 never fails. Apparently 80 doesn't fail either.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So this week we're going to try and guess the OpenCritic average of Madison, psychological horror game that I've kind of had my eye on and kind of not. I realized at some point in the past, my brain jumbled Martha is Dead and Madison up into the same game. I thought they were the same thing. So I was like, oh, Madison, okay. They're different. They're 2 different games. All right, then. So I've wrapped my head around that. What do you think, Mooney?
Well, I don't know anything about this game whatsoever. I've just been having a look and everything.
Sure.
And
sure.
Visually, it looks very intriguing. I won't lie. It's gone so. And I don't mind psychological horrors, but it's will it do anything of decency or whatsoever?
Horror games. Horror games to do horror games for OpenCritic is always an intriguing proposition because I think you never really know what you're gonna get with a horror game before it comes out.
Yeah, exactly. I need to have a look at something I wanna.
And you're saying I don't know anything about this game, and I'm I just admitted that I thought it was a different game, that it would already come up. So I'm right there with you.
What is that game?
But yeah, Madison. There's a camera mechanic in it. Which might be why I got it confused with Martha is Dead, because there's a camera mechanic in that as well.
Yeah. What was that horror game last year that came out? It was a sequel.
Was it the one that I reviewed and got mad at because it was really bad?
I think so.
Remothered?
No, wasn't that.
No?
It was a sequel of a game that you really enjoyed, but I don't think it clicked with the second one. I know that opens up a ton of
I was going to say, God damn it.
I think it's... I don't think you played it on Steam. I think you played it on Epic.
That does
Amnesia.
Amnesia? Amnesia. That doesn't sound right. It sounds close. I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue. In Sound Mind. No, that wasn't a sequel.
No.
12 minutes. That didn't click with that. Resident Evil Village. No, I really like that. Little Nightmares 2.
No, I think it was Amnesia.
But I don't think did an Amnesia game come out last year?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Amnesia. How do you spell that? Amnesia Dark Descent, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that was 20. That came out years ago. Like the sequel to that was Amnesia. Well, the other sequel to that was Rebirth, Amnesia Rebirth. It came out in 2020.
No, it was,
and I liked that.
Rebirth.
But I liked that game. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I thought there was a game I played like last year, but I don't know, man. Like, I played a lot of games. I'd open my Epic Games Store thing, but no doubt it'll open right in front of here and it'll just then be on the podcast for all to see. And unfortunately, there's no Epic Games Store app. I can't just do it on my phone.
79.
79. Just out of curiosity, why were you asking?
Because I think it's going to be around the Amnesia run.
All right, okay. Fair enough.
I was thinking, do I go 80?
Do you just go 80? If you go 79 and gets 80, you're going to be good.
I'm going to be pissed. I won't lie. Yeah, hell yeah.
You're like, fuck that. I'm never guessing a different number ever again. It's just going to be 80 all the way to the end of the year.
80 the rest of the year.
Oh, man. I am going to guess 72.
Yeah,
Why?
I have a feeling I've gone too high. I'm not going to lie.
Horror games that aren't called Resident Evil.
Mainline, or not mainline horror games. Yeah.
They're a very niche thing. Yeah. And I know we talked about Neon on the stream last night, where it was like, I feel like Neon White being like a very niche game served it quite well in like reviews. It's like for whatever reason, like a lot of horror games, like psychological horror games, like smaller ones, tend not to do that well, but people who love them really love them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird.
It also depends if it fucker gets reviewed, man, at the same time.
This is true. This is why, like, I've been playing it safe. Like, last week we did DNF Duel, even though Monster Hunter Sunbreak and Cuphead The Delicious Last Course are both coming out, and it was because I've been burned in the past.
And the F1 game.
I've been burned. I didn't want to do the F1 game. I've been burned in the past with Muddy. I don't know if you realize, if you didn't listen to the podcast, but I forgot F1 2022 was coming out. I didn't put it in games out this week. I didn't even read it. When I saw it was out, I was like, and then I looked it up in the dock and I was like, oops.
Yeah, you clearly aren't keeping up to date with what games are coming out this week.
That's not true. One game. I missed one game and that's it. Oh, well, you're not keeping up with the games that are coming out. I missed one game once. And I've been burned by DLCs and expansions and not getting reviews before. That's why we didn't do Cuphead. Otherwise, we would have done Cuphead. Which did get reviewed, but I don't trust it not getting... After the Binding of Isaac kerfuffle of 2021...
Cuphead was always going to get a review.
I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
Yeah. Cuphead was always going to get a review score. I mean, come on.
I don't trust it.
That's fair.
Binding of Isaac even had reviews and it didn't get a friggin' aggregate for some reason.
It should have been a better game then.
You should have been a bad game.
I try, Amy. I try.
Don't start insulting games. We've had a nice podcast. It's nice and short.
I know. It's like 10:30. We've only been like going an hour and a half. What's wrong with you?
Nothing. There just wasn't that much to talk about this week. I mean, we can sit here and waffle for the next 20 minutes if you want.
No, we don't have to do that.
As you're getting darker and darker, as like the light fades. Can you time your light? If we talk for another 20 minutes about the stuff, can you time it so your light just goes to black in 20 minutes?
No. No.
That'd be awesome. And I guess that means we're leaving.
We can't see Moody anymore.
Moody may or may not be there.
Yeah. Do you want to have a quick chat about Fantasy Critic?
If you like.
Yeah. So I'm full up. I have picked my games. I'm all in.
Yeah, I suppose we had an Elfie centric one last week, so we can have a Moody centric one this week. Moody's gone all in.
I'm in. After those conferences, everything, I was like, time to pick the games, time to get in. and then let's just see how the cookie crumbles by the end of the day. And I think, and I went for it. I was like,
And
let's
you did,
do
yeah.
it. Let's do it. Let's
Do you wanna
do
do you wanna quickly like list off your team?
Yeah, so my full team is Pokemon Legends Arceus, Bayonetta 3, which I hardly doubt is going to come out this year, Triangle Strategy, 2-Point Canvas, Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals, hopefully that will get released date, Somerville, hopefully that will get released date, Shovel Knight Dig, which I was like, oh, I'm guaranteed at least a minimum of 85, we haven't even heard anything of this fucker. I'm like, oh god. Gotham Knights, that's kind of one I'm wishing I didn't pick. I have this feeling that's going to be low. Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Well, no, just to defend your Gotham Knights pick, remember we did this in January, and your hype level for Gotham Knights is, it's not
Gotham
like
Knights wasn't
you
picked
weren't excited
during
for
January.
it.
Gotham Knights was not picked during January.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, either way, your hype level hasn't always been like down. It's been like a decline.
Oh hell yeah! It's never been up though either. Like I've never been really hyped for this one. Like I admit, like when we finally saw it, and I was thinking I enjoyed what we saw. I admit that, but I've never been like, oh my god, this is
no. I'm not saying when I say hype, I'm like it's a scale. Hype is a spectrum, Moody.
I know that. But yeah, crack on. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Avatar: Frontier of Pandora, or Frontiers of Pandora.
Sure.
F1 Manager 2022. The more I see that, the more I'm like, yeah, I've got bank here. I think I've got bank here. Return to Monkey Island. The Callisto Protocol. I will not be surprised if that gets delayed. And like I've said already, like if we hear Dead Space moves from January, Callisto Protocol is moving from its December date.
Sure.
I truly believe that. Season, A Letter of the Future. I think that could be one of the indie darlings of the year. I truly believe that. I think that's going to be one. I think that's a game where we're just like, oh my god. Along with Midnight Fight Express, along with Ask Dusk Falls, Permanent, and Singularities.
Hold on, I'm scrolling.
Signalis.
Signalis. I mean,
yeah.
Signalis. I played the demo of it for Steam Next Fest. It's gonna be incredible. 1 week. I already love it. Like I'm.
Were you the one who tried to get it?
Yeah.
May I ask?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that. I was thinking that's Amy. I was like,
well, see,
she's like 10,000 points ahead. Let's get Nick one of her games. She nicked Pokemon. I'm nicking this one.
Pentiment was a game I knew you would, but I knew it was you when you bid it, and I was looking at it and I was like, I'm trying not to get anything that doesn't have a concrete release date because I've got two drops left and I've got 2 games in my team that don't have a concrete release date. I know like other games can get delayed and stuff, but like I'm trying to play a little bit smarter. So I looked at it and I was like, let him have it. And then he stole Signalis off me. I'm having a problem, Moody. Like, and that problem is, unfortunately, I spend a lot of time talking about the video games that I like. Right? Okay. And you bear with me here, because that's not the actual problem. The problem is that when I go to bid for them on Fantasy Critic, everybody knows who's bid for Signalis or Soul Hackers 2, and everybody's like, oh, just outbid her. Or I'll just bid the same amount as her, and she can't win any tiebreakers because she's got more points than everybody. I'm really struggling like to fill my team up because everybody's just sniping all my games.
Well, I'm good, so I won't be sniping anything else.
Like I've bid for like 6 games in the last like 3 weeks, and I've got 2.
Well, you've got theoretically 5 spots.
I've got 4, and I could have 6 potentially.
6, yeah.
Planet of Lana and Hollow Knight are both up in the air for me right now.
I think if we don't hear about the dates about a lot of these games by Jeff Keighley's thing, I think there's a high chance a lot of them are like all to next year. Which, like, again, it's not a surprise and like take your time and everything like that.
There's gonna be No, I probably shouldn't say that because I don't know if I'm supposed to. But anyway, like I am just trying to stick to like games that like I'm fine. Like I know people are sniping my games off me because everybody can see bids and everybody seems to figure out which games Amy's bidding for. But because I just have a unique taste in video games. But I have a watch list of like 21 games. Like so I'm fine. Like I've got a deep bench. Like there are certain games where it's like if I see a release date get stuck to that, I'm gonna bid it. I'm gonna bid on it. Yeah, like so I'm good. I'm like I said to Elfie last week, I changed tactics. Last year I was worried about what everybody else was doing. And I think that was my downfall. This year, I don't give a fuck. Do what you want. I log in and I bid for the games I want, and then I log out. And then I log in on a Friday and I see if anyone's bidding on anything that I might want to try and take. And then I log out. That's it. I'm not worried about anybody else this year. I mean, I am. I'm worried that people are going to beat me, obviously, but I mean, I'm not bothered about what you were doing. You do what you want to do. It's fine. I don't care.
I still think it's funny that Elf just has one game that's basically keeping her in the hunt right now.
Pretty much.
And that's Elden Ring.
Two if God of War comes out, like.
Oh, if that comes out, but that's it. Like,
we'll see. Hey,
we'll see.
Everything can be a surprise.
There's no doubt. Yeah, Stray could be interesting. Stray could be an interesting one. There's no doubt about that. With it obviously going into the PlayStation's thingy, that's out now, I think, is it? If I remember rightly, can't fully remember. And that could be something intriguing. There's no doubt.
Yeah,
you got Plague's Tale later on.
Mm-hmm. That's coming in October. We got the date for that.
Have we?
Yeah, we got the date for that last week. It was part of last week's podcast, I think. Yeah,
that's good.
It's coming out October 18th.
Something. In October,
give or take.
Yeah.
To Game Pass, as is As Dusk Falls, which I'm really looking forward to playing. I'm intrigued by how the multiplayer works in that game.
Whereas Joe's not playing anymore, just delete all his games and then nick Splatoon 3, and there you go.
We're not doing that.
That's an easy 80-odd point game. I
mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. When I thought you might tell me to like delete his thing, I was like, I'm taking Splatoon. That's it. But no, like just let him keep. If he turns around in like August, September, October, November, and decides he wants to like give it a go, cool, it's there. And if he doesn't really make a difference. It's there if he needs it, or if he wants it. Just like we're there for him if he needs us.
Exactly.
And if you're listening to this, Joe, I will love you very much.
You're not bad at all, Joe.
You're all right.
You're all right.
You're decent. I think Moody's just annoyed about your Stranger Things tweet.
Not annoyed whatsoever.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad. All right, Moody, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we delayed an extra 10 minutes for you.
You didn't have to delay anything. I don't care. Yeah. When there was this guest who...
you don't care, yet you always seem like you want to go 2 hours. I want to shorten this fucker.
No. What? Okay. Maybe I think you're misunderstanding. When I say I'm trying to get it to 2 hours, it's usually I'm trying to pull it back from being more than 2 hours. I don't give a fuck if it doesn't get to 2 hours. I only did it once, and that was because 6 people were sat here, and I was like, we could probably have an interesting conversation while we're here. I had you, Elfie, and Joe Medforce, Keith, and Russell all in the same video chat.
I was wondering, is she gonna mention Keith and Russell?
All in the same video chat. Like, come on, I'm taking advantage of that.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Wait, say the thing. It's Monday, you know what I mean?
It's Monday, you know what that means.
Okay, now it's a legitimate podcast. See you later, everybody.
See you later.